You listening to Precept on Precept. Captain Shem break it down to no meat left. Line upon line in the word make you respect. History collegiate when we teach it, brains reset. You listening to Precept on Precept. Captain Shem break it down to no meat left. Line upon line, the word make you respect. History collegiate when we teach it, brains reset. Putting in the work for the most high. Valley of the bones coming back and we gon' ride. Showing you our past didn't start with that boat ride. We a nation made of kings, yeah, we chose right. Bringing our identity back. We the praise of the Lord, they pretend to be that. Judah is something special, they could never be that. We raise Inventors with the knowledge so our enemies crack. In fact, listen to the class and the topic. Bomb subject matter, breakdowns atomic. Gathering the people, the whole duty of prophets. Precepts start flowing.
Israel united in Christ. We are not a hate group. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a non-violent, Bible-based movement. We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land, you must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threat, as stated in Leviticus chapter 5, verse 1.
Hey, shalom, shalom, Israel. Hey, Most High in Christ bless. Welcome to another edition of Thursday night's Precept upon Precept. We are your hosts. My name is Captain Shem.
Officer Matthew.
Officer Mikael.
Officer Micah.
All praise. Officer Micah's back in the house. He was out for a hiatus doing big business, big things. All praise the Lord. So look, tonight we have two parts. The beginning, we're going to touch on the current Russia and United States conflict, because that's what it is. It's not the Russia-Ukraine, because Ukraine is not a power. It's NATO, which is led by the U.S., that's behind all of this, which is encroaching on Russia's territory. That's why you see what's going on. And then most of the show is going to cover some great Israelite inventors, so-called black inventors. So tonight, without further ado, let's get right into it. There's a TikTok video that Officer Matt just sent in that really, truly shows you kind of from a layman's perspective really exactly what how white people never liked you, don't consider you a human being. They consider you just basically nothing. And they show you through their open, alarming shock that this is happening to good Ukrainians. Let's see what the sister got to say. Okay, look, real quick, give me Job 9:24 to back this up, because the only way that this could come to pass for these media outlets to say what they are about to say, you're going to hear, and still keep their jobs and not have to answer to anybody for it. This is how we know, because it is scripture.
The book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24.
All right.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
When it says the earth, it's talking about everything on the earth in relation to what human beings can do, meaning they own commerce, they own industries, they own stock markets, they control trade, they control who can be embargoed and sanctioned and who cannot be. They run the earth. Who is the they? The so-called white man, European, Caucasian, Dutch, German, French, British, whatever you want to call him. They are running the earth. Read it again.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
The earth is given to the hand of the wicked. Who allowed that to happen? God. 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 Matter of fact, give me Proverbs 17:13 while we wait. Well, I know tech team's ready to rock. Proverbs, it's either Psalms 17:13 or Proverbs 17:13. Let me look at it real quick. This goes right along with it. Somebody get me Psalms 17:13. Somebody get me Proverbs 17:13. It just came to me. So you wonder why that this kingdom is able to do what they're able to do, and some of you black people are actually shocked when you hear things like this. Go ahead and read that when you get it.
The book of Psalms, chapter 17, verse 13.
All right.
Arise, O Lord, disappoint him. Cast him down. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword.
So the sword, the wicked of God is, the sword of God is the wicked. And who's the wicked? The so-called white man. So we are asking to be delivered from this man. That's what's going on. Okay, and you're going to see tonight what's going on. Even in the Ukraine right now, there's black people right there, right now, that's being openly discriminated against, trying to flee for their lives, and some of them is Israelites. Not all of them. Some is the true Hamites, but some of those, there's hundreds of them that are the 12 tribes of Israel. So we can go ahead and play that TikTok video.
When we see the media talking about these Ukrainians as if they are just like this anomalous group of people that because of their whiteness, they can't understand how they can be in this situation.
Now the unthinkable has happened to them. And this is not a developing third world nation. This is Europe.
On est au 21e siècle, on est dans une ville européenne et on a des tirs de missiles de croisière comme si on était en Irak ou en Afghanistan, vous imaginez?
What they're saying without saying is that they can understand why Palestinians are in their situation. What they're saying is they can understand why Central Americans, why Mexicans. Basically what they're saying is they can understand why anybody who's not white is in any situation that is similar to the current Ukrainian situation.
Me, I'm sorry, it's very emotional for me because I see European people with blue eyes and blonde hair being killed, children being killed every day with
Pause real
missiles.
quick. I'm going to show you something. Right. When he says, for me, it's emotional to see Europeans with blonde hair and blue eyes kill each other. That shows you they don't have any emotion when they see you brown, yellow, and black people die. There's no emotion. That's why they can go in. We saw a section where they had a guy that admitted they would go in and infect people with AIDS. How do you do that to people that live and breathe air? They don't see you as a human. There's no emotion. But the second it happens to people that look like them, now they have an emotional connection because those are human beings to them. And you know what I like about this? And I'm going to show you something. This is what I love when I see sisters like this. Because she don't look like Naomi Campbell. She ain't got no full features, right? But that's a black woman right there, okay? And I'm gonna tell you how you know, right? If she were to go and be in that line, now she might get away with it if she covers her face up. They see her hair, they see her face. She is a foreigner. She's not a Ukrainian, okay? What you about to see next, she would be put in the other line. Back 100 years ago, 50 years ago, okay? She would have had the water hose turned on her and the dog sicked on her. Don't think you getting a pass. And this is why it's important to understand, dude, we cannot be divided by facial features. Some people have tighter hair. Don't let them divide you. This is a sister. This is a black woman, all right? And a lot of times we forget that, all right?
Hey, even to bring it home even further, when you have like the little Edomite girl got kidnapped and killed.
Right.
The whole nation was looking for this girl. The whole nation. The Ramsey, the little
John Benet
Ramsey.
Oh my gosh.
Still to this day they still talking about that little girl.
Yep.
But 80,000 black women disappear in this country. Nobody says nothing.
They
Just
got
go
a
to
whole-
show you.
They got a whole Amber alert because of a little white girl named Amber.
Right.
When Shanique would go missing way more than Amber does.
Exactly. They don't say nothing. That
Nothing.
goes to your point, Cap, that
Right.
they don't look at us the same. They don't see us the same. We're not people. There's no emotional attachment. That's why when we get killed, they say, oh, it's unfortunate, and there is no place for racism like that in our business, or there's no place for racism in our country and all of that stuff. They say the same line all over the world.
And that's why black people still die. You'll find them, they went out with their white friends fishing and hunting. And how come it's always the black guy that dies or the Puerto Rican that dies? Because they don't like you. They never have liked you. They hate your damn guts to the very core. And God tells you that. The soul, give me that. And the soul that is in them is not upright. It's either Habakkuk or Micah. It's Habakkuk, yes. Is it 2 or 3? It just came to me. Now, why is this important? Because as the Ukraine is being attacked by their older brother, right? The white man is attacking the white man, so to speak. The whole thing comes down to This is two Caucasian brothers fighting each other. But in the midst of all that, our people are the ones who are going to be given the short end of the stick, right? And you've got black pastors, like Bishop Nathaniel brought out on Shout Out Tuesday, that black pastors are teaching to pray for another oppressor that openly is discriminating against you. We have some footage of that tonight, too. They should be condemning the Ukraine, right along with Russia, because Russia had slaves as well. We ain't giving Putin a pass. Putin is the damn devil just like the other ones. Okay? Read.
Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him.
Yep.
But the just shall live by his faith.
So the soul that's within this man is not right. But the just, we're going to live by faith, meaning what? We understand that God, according to Romans, Romans 9, that God raised him up, just like he raised Pharaoh up. For what reason? To show his power. How powerful is going to be when we can see that if we cross that day, we have been delivered. That will give all praises to the Most High. Because you don't think they were celebrating when they saw the Egyptians drowned in the sea? He's doing all that just to show his power. We just have to be patient, endure to this truth to the end, keep the commandments, and we're going to see our deliverance is going to be greater than it ever was out of Egypt. So all praises. Read it again.
Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 4.
Okay.
Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him.
It's not upright in him. Read on.
But the just shall live by his faith.
The just shall, we are the just. And the faith is going to be the Most High's commandments. We're going to live based upon the prophecy. We understand. This is why it's not shocked. When I watch this thing in Ukraine, I'm not shocked at all. As a matter of fact, I'm surprised they didn't do worse to them. I'm surprised they didn't just start shooting them. I'm actually surprised that they didn't take it to the next level. And the reason why is because there's too much social media. They got cell phones. This is the reason why they didn't do that. If they didn't have social media coverage and they knew, they would light these black people up, no problem. Think nothing of it. All right? Play on.
Blue eyes and blonde hair being killed, children being killed every day with Putin's missiles.
And what that means is what they're saying is that they don't consider anyone who's not white civilized.
Pologne, parce que ça va être une question importante. Et on parle pas là de Syriens qui fuient les bombardements du régime syrien soutenu par Vladimir Poutine. On parle d'Européens qui partent dans leurs voitures, qui ressemblent à nos voitures, qui prennent la route et qui essayent juste de sauver leur vie, quoi. Et ça, c'est une question qui va être importante pour l'Europe. Alors que...
But this isn't.
Hey, pause real quick. You know what I like about this system is that she didn't go to all United States news reporters. She took some from Germany, some from the Ukraine, some from Britain, showing you that no matter what type of Caucasian they are, they're still the damn devil. And it's showing you, they're all saying the same thing. They didn't coordinate this. They're just on air using their platform, showing you that we're getting killed, we're somebody, you ain't nobody. And they're not going to be held accountable. You think anybody's going to hold them accountable? They can say whatever the hell they want. And there's nothing you and I can do about it. Play on.
Qui va être importante pour l'Europe.
But this isn't a place, with all due respect, like Iraq or Afghanistan, that has seen conflict raging for decades. This is a relatively civilized, relatively European, I have to choose those words carefully too, city where you wouldn't expect that or hope that it's going to happen.
When you look at what happened in the last refugee crisis in Europe back in 2015, Poland was one of the EU countries that was hesitant to take in refugees. Talk about what has changed and the different position now.
Yeah, well, just to put it bluntly, these are not refugees from Syria. These are refugees from neighboring Ukraine. I mean, that, quite frankly, is part of it. These are Christians, they're white.
So, in particular, when black people look to othered groups, and we say, we should all be in solidarity. This is a scenario where you can look and see they don't like y'all either. No.
All praises. All praises. So look, you brothers, I know you've been holding your tongue. I mean, come on.
I just got one scripture Can we give Wisdom of Solomon 18:7? Wisdom of Solomon 18:7. This is what we as a people have to understand. Whether we're black, Hispanic, or Native American, we got to understand this one thing. Read that.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18 and verse 7. So if thy people was accepted both the salvation of the righteous and destruction of the enemies.
The salvation of the righteous, those blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that are keeping the commandments, that's the righteous, and the destruction of our enemies, that's all other nations that hate us, including the Ukraine, where they won't let black people get on the train to leave.
So basically, they praying for Ukraine, but Ukraine ain't praying for them.
They should be praying for Ukraine, for the destruction of Ukraine. Drop more bombs, Putin. Drop more bombs. Let's go.
What I can't understand is Tyrone and Ray Ray shoot each other down like crazy, right? But Shaking Joe, he put sanctions on Russia for starting the war. Why don't he just sanction Skinny Jeans until little Tukey and little Do Dirty stop killing each other?
Because he want them to kill each other.
Yeah, that's why he donated what that was, $30 million or $30 billion
To crack pipes.
To crack
Lord
pipes
help us.
and needles.
Hey, look, this the thing, bro. Just because he's 80, 90,000 years old or whatever it is right now, y'all got to remember, this the same man that wrote the 3 strikes bill calling your young men super predators. That's the same dude, Joe Biden.
Hey, not only that, Joe Biden helped to expand the EU in Europe. Keep that in mind. Joe Biden helped to expand the European Union in Europe in the 90s.
So
he was a part of that.
It's the thing. This is the whole play behind this, right? The 2 biggest threats to the United States are Russia and China. That's right. If the United States can get NATO into Ukraine, they not only put missiles at the border of Ukraine, which that lessens Russia's response time, but those missiles can also touch China.
But they already look, this how I like how the US do. The US say, all right, Ukraine is not part of NATO. Right. But they say, but they still our partner though. So if you mess with them, we gonna step in. But they're not part of NATO though. They ain't part of NATO. But I'm still gonna help protect them from anybody else that encroach on their territory.
They ain't in our gang, but they still from our neighborhood. You heard me?
Yeah. They not in the gang, they just affiliated. You know what I'm saying? You know how dudes in the hood be like that? Like, I ain't there, but I'm affiliated. That's what NATO is to Ukraine right now. They're not in there, but they're affiliated.
Let's show the character of Ukraine. I believe, Mickey, I believe you said that, they're being somebody said they're being discriminated against. So we got a video to show. We're not making this up. We're not trying to, generalize it or make it look. No, these Ukrainians are. The sister just pointed a tape of the being. The media sees Europeans as being real people. Now here's an example to show you clearly that the officials that are helping the citizens of Ukraine and foreign what's that? Not green card. If you have a foreign national, meaning they're there for studying or whatever, they're also wanting to get the hell out of the Ukraine. We're going to show you how they're treating brown folks, that not just black people, but Indians, which are also brown, East Indians. Go ahead and play number 8. Start at the first minute and 37 seconds, and then we're going to go. I got a time mark for y'all, so it's pretty easy to follow. All right, so y'all follow along. Okay.
You gotta. Hey, if y'all don't watch Amy Goodman, y'all gotta watch Amy Goodman, man. She be bringing up some stuff.
Why they didn't show the picture of that Ukraine soldier running over that car with the tank?
Yeah.
I don't show news like that. That dude's like, man, I ain't killed nobody yet. I gotta get a confirmed kill in.
They blame it on Russia.
Oh, okay.
All right, so we're going to show you the leadership in trying to divert people to other countries and how they treat black people. We got it, or? All right.
The United Nations reports more than 800,000 people have fled Ukraine since Russia attacked last week, but many foreign nationals trying to escape have described racist discrimination
Now pause
and
real
abuse.
quick. I'm going to show you what they're going to do. I'm going to prep you for it because people are going to miss it. They make the distinction between the Ukrainians and foreign nationals, right? What they do is slick. Foreign nationals are black and brown people. Ukrainians are white. But here's the thing. A Polish citizen is a foreign national. A Portuguese citizen is a foreign national. A Spanish from Spain is a foreign national. If you're from Germany, you're a foreign national. They're slick how they don't think nobody catches it. So what this, you got to be Ukrainian. But there are black people that live in Ukraine that are Ukrainians. So when they see Ukrainians, they're talking about white people. That's it. It's simple as that. Watch. Play on.
Saying they were turned away from buses and at the border while Ukrainians were welcomed with open arms. India's government's dispatched ministers to Ukraine's border with Poland after people from India seeking to cross from Ukraine to Poland reported they were told to go to Romania instead. Citizens of several African countries report they were also pushed back from Poland because they are black. Some 16,000 African students are thought to have been studying in Ukraine. On Tuesday, Ukraine's foreign minister, Dmytro Kuleba, tweeted Russia's invasion had, quote, affected Ukrainians and non-citizens in many devastating ways, and said, quote, Africans seeking evacuation are our friends and need to have equal opportunities to return to their home countries safely.
Pause. That's just stupid damage control. That's all that is. And they were given orders. Do you think that, okay, those of you who have been in the military, you know, if I'm a corporal or I'm a lance corporal, or I'm even a sergeant, I don't just set things and say, I do it my way. I'm getting orders from somebody, either a top enlisted personnel who gets his order from some brass who is a officer. You just don't do stuff like that. You can get court-martialed. You can go to the brig, what do they call it over there, prison, in there, Ukrainian. There's a certain military code. And we have men here that know about that. Officer Mike, you just got out 2 years ago.
It says in the NCO Creed, the non-commissioned officer creed, it states, I will take the appropriate action in the absence of order. That means if the commanding officer's not there, he gets shot or died, then you step up and you start commanding, you take order. You start handing out the orders.
So they're under order, and none of them, they didn't all die. So it's not just a rogue E4 taking his own program. No. They're getting orders from the top. Don't let them niggas pass through. Let our good white people get out first. That's exactly what they're saying, but they might be wording it a little different. But the effect of it is what you're going to see now. So let's go ahead and jump to 427 to 455. So this is talking about, this is a black brother. He looked like he could be from Detroit with a different accent.
And they saying it, Cap. They saying, like I was saying earlier, they saying, oh, well, we'll allow them to travel home, or racism has no place in this country, but their actions are showing, hey, get these Negroes the hell up out of here so we can get our people out first.
And we're gonna see an example. There's too many stories to corroborate that you can't deny it. You got hundreds of people that are saying the same. They got one particular brother. He's an educated, so-called African Nigerian, and he tells his story. This is just one of many, 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 many stories. Play.
I asked some people there, how long have you been here? One said 3 days, the other one said 2 days. They were like, no, I cannot endure this. I have to find a way. So in the morning, which is the next day, we started protesting and telling them they have to let us go, that this is rubbish. They take in like 100 Ukrainians and then take in like 2 Africans. It doesn't make sense because there are more Africans there than Ukrainians.
Okay, pause it. I want you to rewind it again to 427 because he said a lot. And what a lot of times the media will show you all of the people getting ready to leave, and they'll show you what they want you to see. So they'll show you thinking it's mostly white folks. But what he says, he was there. He says, well, he gets to the border where checkpoint before the border, and he sits in, And he starts talking to other black people. Yo, how long you been here for? And they're like 3 days. He says, I can't wait any longer, right? And he tells you about the ratios they're allowing people to get on the train. And then he tells you some information that is the other side, that they don't want you to see the other side. Play.
Some people there, how long have you been here? One said 3 days, the other one said 2 days. We're like, no, I cannot endure this. I have to find a way. So in the morning, which is the next day, we started protesting and telling them they have to let us go, that this is rubbish. They take in like 100 Ukrainians and then taking like 2 Africans. It doesn't make sense because there are more Africans there than Ukrainians.
Stop. You see that? So there were times where there were more black folks there than so-called Ukrainian, which is the white folks. And they were taking like 100 of them on at a time and then 2 Africans. So the reality is it's open in an obvious discrimination that's being taken place. And this is a country, and this is what he's going to tell you a little bit later, that's crying victim from Russia being oppressed, right? And you doing the same exact thing that you calling Russia on. It shows you that these Ukrainian, Trump actually, I wish we had a clip. Trump goes on to say he could have avoided all this. He said the Ukrainian is corrupt as hell. Trump goes on record saying, he said, look, I told you from the beginning, you're one of the most corrupt governments ever. He says, I wouldn't even enter business with the Ukraine. Trump goes, that's why they don't want Trump to get back in. Trump is a gangster. And Trump would have probably worked with Putin to avoid all this crap that's going on right now. You know, let's jump real quick because we're going to jump to our brothers, the inventors. Go to, so now we know that there were times when there were more Africans, so-called college students, and weren't letting them on. Watch the whole video in the interest of time for yourself. It's called Ukrainians Only, right on YouTube. Now go to 6:20 to the end, the last minute, and this is kind of the point of this whole video. Play. 6:20. Yes. So get me Deuteronomy chapter 28, because it doesn't matter what we do. The curses follow you. The curses follow us. And it doesn't matter if the Israelites, they call themselves Nigerian, you call yourself Puerto Rican, Dominican, or Native American. If you are part of the 12 tribes of Israel and you don't repent, this is how you know who you are. Deuteronomy chapter 28, and let's look at verse yeah, but hold on. I wanted to bring this out. Get the 37, the headbanger.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee.
So wherever we're led, whether it be the Ukraine, whether we be led to Russia, whether we be led to Australia, wherever we're led, we are going to be treated indecently, immorally, and inhumane, wherever we go. We're in astonishment. Here you have people trying to get out of a war-torn country, and you are so petty and so evil that instead of allowing the next people, the next 10 go, the next 10, you are segregating, stopping them, and letting everybody else go based upon what? Because it's your kingdom. You're the superior race. And it just goes to show you, this strengthens my faith. This don't shock me. A lot of black people are crying right now. Are you serious? You come from a country where they enslaved your forefathers, gave you Jim Crow, and then in 65, they were still beating the hell out of you with water fountains and dogs. And you surprised in the 70s, they try to bust little black girls in, and they protest and spit on them when they was walking into the school, and you are surprised that they did this in 2002? You surprised. This is why it's time to wake up. When you see stuff like this, you should say, you know what? It's time that we are the Israelites. We got to turn back to the Most High's commandments. We just had a day of Nicanor, the destruction of Nicanor. Okay, the Feast of Purim, where our enemies were destroyed. Okay, so we celebrating this last week, the destruction of Haman, the destruction of the damn, what's the devil's name? The devil from the Maccabees.
Nicanor?
Yeah, that damn demon. Okay, that's, we want to see Putin and all his people, all them, we want to see them in chains. Isaiah 14:21. Get that real quick. They got to pay. The hell with Putin, the hell with them, all of these, every one of them. Tony Blair, I don't know if he's in still power, George Bush, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, all of them. All of them. They're all in cahoots with this, and God's using them. 14:21.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21.
And then y'all look at this for yourself. Track RT News. Track these third-party news to watch what's really going on in Russia and the Ukraine. Read.
Prepare slaughter for his children.
His children. Joe Biden is a children. Joe Biden is a children. Putin's people own slaves. Don't get it twisted. Read.
For the iniquity of their fathers.
And every one of them, these Russian Caucasians, German Caucasians, every British Caucasians, American, every single one of them, they got to pay for the sins of their fathers. Read on.
That they do not rise.
And they, you know what? And they are on top right now. That's why when we go into, well, we'll probably have it later on as it progresses, you're going to see that this is the red dragon. This is that great red dragon. This is the Revelation prophecies coming true. They are, no man will, unless they had the mark of the beast. Anybody America says you don't mess with him, they all follow along for fear of being sanctioned themselves, for fear of being crippled. Okay, some folks call it the war of attrition. We do little teeny tactics over and over again. Okay, back in the medieval times, cut off their water, cut off their supplies. Well, it's the same thing today. It's a war of attrition. Take this company out. Take this company out. No longer, you can't fly over here. I'm not going to send you the parts for the jets that you need to fly your plane. You can't come in these waters no more. All these businesses that they deal with petroleum, we're taking out of your country. You cause an alarming disruption within the Russian economy.
It's a modern-day siege.
Yes.
It's a modern-day siege. They're besieging Russia. It's just, like you said, it's not back in the day where they was outside of the city blocking off stuff. They're doing it from a distance. They're doing it electronically. They're doing it business-wise. They're doing it resource-wise. It's a siege.
So that's a perfect way to put it, a modern-day siege. Now, with that, look, y'all track this Ukraine conflict, and remember this, always remember this. It is the United States at the helm using the guise of NATO to push and encroach on Russia to keep and maintain world economic and military dominance. That's exactly what it is, okay? And don't let anybody fool you, all right? So real quick, I want to change gears rather, and I want to, Mikhail, you had a brother that is, you were going to get over it last week. That brother is a powerful brother. I believe that brother's name is, where you at?
We're going to go to Article 11, Granville T. Woods.
Hey, y'all gonna, you know what we're going to start with? I want to start with, you can get your article. I want to start, before you do that, load that article, but I want you to get number 13 and go to 12 minutes and 30 seconds. The brother's name is Granville Woods, T. Woods. And this brother right here, he made a lot of very important world inventions, not just American inventions. If you can get that. All right, dead space, no dead space. Look, where is, all right. While we wait, get me Search of Their Fathers for the, is it Job 8 and 8?
Yes, sir.
Because what we have to understand is that we found out last week with the brother, the real McCoy, Elijah McCoy.
Yep.
We talked about the brother that was responsible for, was it McKinley, for the modern day grocery store and refrigeration, because his boss said, hey, I need this. And he said, I'm just as a genius. And he figured it out and changed the entire world. He made it possible for transportation of ships and trains with refrigeration. He made it possible for the modern day grocery store that we take advantage. A black man made it possible. He's our forefather. When they tried to oppress and deny his progress. Okay? And we're going to give honor to that. Yes, he might have known that he was an Israelite, but these are our people. And so we're going to talk about it. Read.
The book of Job, chapter 8 and verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age.
Look, we're going back to the 1850s. We're going back to the 1860s, 70s, 1890s. Read on.
And prepare thyself to the search of their fathers.
A lot of black folks, I've witnessed this growing up. Stop, man. Yo, that's past. Why do you keep bringing that up? Don't you want to let a dead dog lie, bro? We got to move on. We got to focus what's on ahead of us. What are you talking about? The things that happened in the foretime was meant for us to learn. And guess what? A lot of our forefathers were more progressive, had more of a strong warrior spirit because of the oppression they faced. Today you got black people, black men making videos condemning other black men and who are actually trying to steal their men. Okay, the homosexual agenda is pushing hard in this earth. Okay, you got to be kidding me.
And they're teaching that to the kids now. One of the brothers shared it earlier. New York, they got a genderqueer book that they giving the kids. Basically pornographic material.
Wow.
They got men doing acts with men as cartoons inside of this book.
You remember the one radio show we did about the library up in Buffalo, New York, where they had the dildo butt ranger mascot at a back to school.
Yes.
Damn. Library.
Yes, and then they had the lady boy reading a story time, all that stuff. Bruh, y'all, look, if y'all can't see that the Bible is real by now, you're lost. Something is absolutely wrong with the chemicals in your brain. If you can't see that this Bible is true, look at where the world was to where it is now. Look at how people was to how people are now. The only difference between us in the 40s and 50s to now is that we live next door to the oppressor. That's it. They still hate you. They still talk about you. They still kill you. Most of our sisters, when they get killed by them white boys, you know what happened?
Right.
They be asking them to do stuff. Then they say, no, I ain't doing that. And the white boy get mad and choke them.
Mm-hmm.
And then they die.
And that's crazy because in the 40s, 50s, and in the late 1800s, we had much more moral fiber and moral standards than we ever did today. And that's one thing that kept us, the communities together during the 60s, is we had a common oppressor. We had a better value. There was a much higher marital rate amongst black men and women. And it was a taboo thing if you had a child out of wedlock. You know, send it down south or send it up north because you don't want anybody to know about it. Nowadays, it's a commonality. They got movies where they teach you how to be a strong black independent woman and plan for single motherhood. It's a damn joke.
You got Rihanna parading around right now in her doggone lingerie with her belly out.
Oh, hey, you know what? Hey, I saw that. Get that in the background. Rihanna's walking around with a see-through, right? Like 5 months pregnant, 6 months, see-through, and just a complete
bozo.
Disgrace.
Right, exactly.
But you know our sisters do that too. Our sisters do that too. They got plenty of sisters, for some odd reason, they think going on a photo shoot butt naked with their stomach out surrounded by flowers is the thing to do as a mother. As an expecting mother, you think that it's okay for you to take your big pregnant self and get butt naked at a photo shoot just to take pictures naked being pregnant.
Can we get that? If not, we'll move on.
Right there.
Look at this. So now hold up. I just want to be clear. She's in public. When I first saw her, I said maybe they caught her on the balcony. If you look behind her, they're all fully dressed. And there's a man with a camera shooting down. Those white people are laughing at her. Yes. And they might say, "Oh, Rihanna, we love your music," but they know that she looks stupid as hell, and it don't look right. She just looks, it looks terrible. It's not classy, and she's a nice looking lady, but her face I'm talking about, but she just looks so it just looks terrible, man.
She has a $1 billion brand. $1 billion brand, which goes to show you money will not change who you are. If you a dummy, you're gonna be a dummy with millions. Yep. If you are a thought, you're gonna be a thought with millions. Money don't solve the problem. Changing your mind does. And that's where we fall from, because we don't think that we got to change our mentality. We don't think that we have to change how we perceive life and how life perceives us. Everybody looks at us and they laugh. Why? Because Negroes walk around with their pants sagging. You females walk around with workout clothes on and you fat as hell. You walking around disrespecting your own men, but then when you get disrespected, you turn to the same men that you was just disrespecting to help protect you.
Where they do that at?
Hey, Willie Lynch, he was a masterminded. His works have stood the test of time. Because in the 1940s, if she had a father, that would have been a disgrace. Mm-hmm. You even show your damn ankles in public, your legs in public. We fell far. Can you play that real quick? Because we run out of time. So we want to talk about the brother of Smikio's about to go into a brother named Granville T. Woods, a phenomenal so-called black inventor that is not, it should be talked, he should be talked about everywhere. 12 minutes, I think it was 12 minutes and 30 seconds. All right, go ahead, play.
He is ahead of his time and founded his own company to research, manufacture, and market his electrical inventions. His versatility resulted in 65 patents relating to electricity, from electric railway cars to an incubator for hatching chicken eggs. When the first subway rail pulled into Grand Central Station, Granville Woods had made his mark. In 1901, he was issued a patent for the third rail system, still used in subways today around the world. Concerned about the number of train collisions.
Hey, real quick, pause. I want to share some with you. This is happening in 1901. So in 1901, remember there was a brother that wrote 4 volumes of books because they were not getting their patents notarized or being put out there. And some of the patent lawyers, when asked, they would say things like, I never know a Negro to even have a creative idea. This brother in 1901 invented the third rail, which is the catapult for all modern day subways, to include the ones that are in China right now. All the underground throughout in London, these subways in all these major metropolitan areas. A black brother who they said that his counterparts, the European Caucasians, would say, black people can't even think. At that time, remember, they thought they had a different sized brain. Like when you see that movie Django, when he takes out the skull, they really believed that public opinion was that black people were not as smart. Black people made it possible for them to come out into the Industrial Revolution, which we're going to find is a brother who took the light bulb to the next level. This brother, Granville T. Woods, the brother with the refrigeration. If it wasn't for black men, they wouldn't even have got through the Industrial Revolution. When you really think about the major inventions, many of them were done by men who were severely oppressed in the 18 and early 1900s. Just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind that the time, 1901, he was going through all of this stuff that he was going through in society, and he was still turning out these amazing inventions. The third rail, no one thought about that before. Well, we got 2 rails. He said, no, hold up. What if I did a third rail? Think about that mind. That's a genius.
Yes.
All praise the Lord. Mikhail, please go into this brother. Do him justice.
So that's 1901. That's 1901. We're talking about the third rail in the subway system. What I picked up on from this brother is in 1885, this brother came out with he invented the system called telephony, which allowed the telegraph to carry voice signals. Why is that important? Because it revolutionized the way we communicate. So not only did he revolutionize the way we travel, he revolutionized the way we communicate. Him allowing the telegraph to carry voice signal leads to what we now have today, voice over IP. It also led to other black men that invented the cell phone, because the first black man, Henry T. Sampson, created the first cell phone in 1971. Another black man, Jesse Russell, took the cell phone to the next level with 2G, which is now 3G and 4G and 5G today. All this happened because of Granville T. Woods and his invention of carrying voice over the telegraph lines.
Right. All praise to the Most High. Look, we're about to go to a break, but when we come back, Officer Mikael's going to continue to go into Granville, T. Woods. Did y'all hear what he said? He has 65 patents. That is, one patent is amazing. 65 patents. All praise to the Most High. We get ready to go to break. Stay with us. After the break, we're going to go into great black inventors. Stay with us.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.
Hey there, it's me again. As you know, Mel and I are working on a Passion of the Christ sequel. We're asking that you continue to support us in any way possible. And those of you whom have not yet donated to the Joseph's Dream short film, we want to give you a special thank you. Send those funds over to help us establish our vision. Jesus loves you, and God bless America.
Hey out there, I'm Lawrence Thornburg, Yasharala Ben Judah III. I know you may be wondering why I'm reaching out to you from the privacy of my own home and not the Passover, which is going on right now. I was unsurreptitiously denied access to the Passover because I was allegedly accused of having the vid, which I did. I might have had a slight cough.
Yo, you can't come up here like that, man.
What you
can't come up here
talking
like
about,
that, bro. Nah, I ain't shaloming you. I really don't want to look at you.
I might have had a little runny nose. Nothing major. Yeah, man, I'm gonna have another garment. You know what I'm talking about? Super fly. What color you gonna go with this year?
I might go with black and emerald.
Black and emerald? What we clean, I'm talking about drip down.
Drip down.
Yeah,
huh?
drip down.
Drip down. Okay.
Yeah, I'm tripping. I can't believe they even accused me of sneezing on a brother in the line.
What's your name?
My name is Jedediah Israel. Should be on that somewhere.
So what? It was cold. I had little chills. You all right? Man, I got the chills, man. It's cold, bro. You ain't cold, man?
Bruh.
Man, it's like I'm hot, I'm sweating, I'm freezing, but something, man. Where you going? If you fit any of that criterion, don't call 1-800-PASSOVER. Call 1-800 I've been passed over. Something to drink. Man, I'm sick, man.
That I could do to please you, my Lord, above all the rest. I don't think twice about who you love. Chose above all these nations on earth. About time it's our turn. How many chances have you given?
So clean,
Oh,
clean.
yeah. Both necklaces. Boy, coming in with jewelry on.
Hey, man, you did it.
Telling you, I know it.
You
Well,
walking
hey,
there, you
I'm
look like you
telling
was
you,
in the kingdom,
I'm
boy.
telling you, boy, go. Man, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. Welcome back to Precept Upon Precept on this Thursday night. We're going to jump right back. Just for those of you joining us, we're going into great so-called black inventors and some of the things that they have done that revolutionized not just the American culture, but the world culture. Officer Mika was going into a brother named Granville T. Woods.
Yep.
And you were bringing out some really good points, Officer Mikael.
Hey, let's get that article. Article number 11. So, read that for me.
Yes, sir. Granville T. Woods, inventor, born. On this day in 1856, Granville T. Woods was born in Columbus, Ohio. He was a black businessman and inventor. Woods began work in a machine shop at age 10.
So, we're not going to just speed past that. He began work in the machine shop as a machinist at the age of 10 years old. But machinists make $35, $40 an hour nowadays because you have to be skilled at that. And he started at 10 years old.
So he wasn't singing Lil Yachty.
No.
Oh, okay. he was okay. Putting in
Hey,
work.
and you know what? I bet your daddy made him work there.
Oh yeah,
because that's what fathers do. Fathers put their sons to work. Fathers make sure that their sons know what it's like to have a hard day of labor. We do that. Why? Because that's what make you a man. Sisters don't know that. You don't. You're not equipped to do that. Y'all are equipped to, no, don't be so hard on them. That's my baby. That's y'all role. That's your lot. Our role is to toughen him up. So that's why we start punching him in the chest. That's why we start fighting with him early, slamming them on beds, throwing them on couches. You know what I'm saying? Rough housing and all of that stuff. The dude worked in the shop at 10 years old. That's what I'm talking about.
Hey.
If he was modern day, he'd have been pushing a lawnmower at 10.
Well, he might have still been in the machinist shop because I know a brother that I work with started working as a machinist at 15. So he might have still been in the machine shop.
Though largely self-taught, he studied electrical and mechanical engineering from 1876 to 1878.
He was self-taught. He taught himself how to be a machinist. You got to imagine the mind that you got to have to teach yourself these things. Go back to the article. It said 1876 to 1878. That's what, 11, maybe 12 years after slavery?
Right.
Damn.
Hey, and to be self-taught, that's a lot of trial and error.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
a
is.
lot of math.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Science.
saying? That's
He
a lot
understood
of, you got to take notes on stuff. Oh, this didn't work like this. This didn't work like that. Well, let me try it this way. Or let me see what happens if I do it that way. And then you find out, oh, this works like this with this. So if I keep this going, all right, now how can I make this better? That take a lot.
You know what they called that back in the day? Tinkering. A lot of tinkering.
So he wasn't planning to hit on his op who he gonna ride down on.
Nah, none of that.
No, he wasn't shooting his brothers. This brother was actually doing something that was gonna forward his people.
Let me show y'all what's going on. Get Sirach 3 and 36, I think I want. Or is that Wisdom of Solomon 3 and 36? He gave all wisdom.
Baruch
Might be Baruch.
336. Baruch 336. It's amazing the stuff that our people do. Like Fat Asa was saying. It's amazing the stuff that our people do under the conditions that we had them.
Under duress.
Seems as if we thought better when we were under duress, rather than being comfortable.
Right.
in
like some brothers be under duress when they found out that they missed the Whopper 3 for $5. They be like, damn, like we got a brother down here, man. He circles on his calendar and he could coordinate to the T. Well, if I go here on this day, I get this, that. The brother is it, and if he finds out, that will cause him major duress. The brother might get gray hair. See, take a brother like that, put him back in the day, you know, straighten him out.
Yeah.
I'm about to go on a tangent I'm not going to do it on the air. But you brothers need to lose some weight. I'm dealing with the brothers first. You lose some weight, drop some pounds.
Hey, read that.
The book of Baruch, chapter 3, verse 36. He hath found out all the ways of knowledge, and hath given it unto Jacob his servant, and to Israel his beloved.
So this is talking about Solomon. The Most High. This is talking about the Most High. He gave all his wisdom and knowledge to Israel. That's why we're better. That's why we're smarter. That's why we're faster. That's why we're stronger. Hey, get mad at God. It ain't our fault.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the article.
After that, he worked on British steamers, then became an engineer on a railroad based in Cincinnati, where he settled around 1880. Was received his first patent in 1884 for a steam boiler furnace. In 1885, he invented a system called telegraphy, which allowed telegraph lines to carry voice signals.
Telegraph lines to carry voice signals. Basically, he invented long-distance calling. And y'all going to find out that he actually sold that to the Bell Company, which is Bell South, which became AT&T.
Hey, you know what? I was wondering, like with all of these brothers getting these patents, I was wondering, are they families and generations set for life? Or did Esau come and finagle some paperwork and get those patents away from them?
They more than likely they finagled some paperwork and they only give credit after they can't get any money.
Right, because, I mean, it would seem that with all of these inventions, patents, and everything that black people made, like the brother that invented the refrigeration.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, every superstore or supermarket or store, corner store, they all use that stuff. So I'm pretty sure this dude's family would have been set for generations. There would have been a lot more wealthy black people in this country. I know that they had to finagle some paperwork. I know that they had to screw them on the back end. I know that.
There were so many hundreds, if not thousands, of our forefathers that came up with inventions in slavery that were denied because their owners either didn't honor meritorious manumissions. Remember, if you invented something or that made your master money, you can get your freedom. If you had a good devil, which I guess there are better versions of devils, that he might give you the credit for that or give you your freedom and then take the credit. But there were many slaves, and after the 1865 so-called Emancipation Proclamation, many of our brothers up until Reconstruction, because remember, segregation did not happen right after Reconstruction, right into Reconstruction. They saw that black people were rising in all these different offices at the state, federal, and local levels. They had to create laws for legal segregation after slavery. So the reason being is because we started to rise, and because we rose during that time, they had to create these black codes and Jim Crow laws because we had many inventions, and much of those did not even get to the registry. So this is why I challenge the fact that they show you the numbers of white inventors. I think it's completely disproportionate. I think there's as many black inventors, if not more, than there are if they didn't steal it, didn't give them credit, or they filed for the patent. Oh, we lost the paperwork. Because remember, they had those patent lawyers would write on record, I've been around Negroes my whole life. I've never known a Negro to even have a creative idea. These are the public officials that work in the patent offices. Okay? So our people are the salt of the earth. We are the light of the earth. And in the inventions that we created that they gave us credit for, that we can do a show on, game-changing. Like Officer Mikael's going into, game-changing. The modern-day telegraph, that now you can send voice-overs through a telegraph. When the telegraphs came over, now you can send signals from coast to coast through a typewriter. Oh, shoot, oh, damn. Now he put a voice to that? That led to the modern day cell phone? Are you kidding me? How come that's not talked about in school like stupid Thomas Edison and Alexander Graham? Why isn't that talked about? Because then you would see a black man. You would see, oh, I'm important. My people did this. Why would you allow the slaves to get confident? So you hide that. You hide that. Go ahead, play on. Continue on.
Hey, real quick, just to back up what y'all was saying, let's get Psalms 94 and 20.
The book of Psalms, chapter 94 and verse 20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law?
It said frameth mischief by a law. They would steal these patents and create laws stopping us from getting our credit. The mind of Esau is deep to do wickedness. And the Bible is a true book, and we seeing it with all these inventors and the lack of credit that they got, which is, let's go back to the article.
You can see it modern day. Like, everybody knows that one black person that's real good on their job, they come up with a better way to more efficiently do the process of whatever work it is. And then the manager sees and it's like, oh, snap, well, won't you train everybody else on doing that? That black person don't get that credit. The manager get the credit. Now the company is running more efficient because you came up with a better process of working. And now the company runs better, and they don't give you no credit for it.
And think about that movie. If y'all didn't see that movie, I'm not saying that I'm all for sports, but the movie King Richard, right? Black people were never supposed to be able to play tennis. And that movie was cool because it showed the father fight because he knew his daughters could be superior to them. If he could just figure out behind how to get through the maneuver through the white racist system, and he did that. And they was average black girls from the ghetto. They just had an opportunity to practice and listen. We would take the whole industry of tennis over, just like they took basketball over. Basketball was a white man's game. Y'all ain't know that? Look at the tape from the 60s. It was all white boys. When they allow a couple brothers to come through, the NBA, if you have a white boy that can play, you're like, yeah, he's good for a white boy. We took everything over. Everything that we give an opportunity to and we begin to enjoy, we take over. And it's the same thing with inventions. They knew that, so they had to limit what you can do. Oh, shoot, this guy. Refrigeration, the telephone, the telegraph. The real McCoy, Elijah McCoy, made it possible for the Industrial Revolution to carry on because self-lubricating machinery. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? But everybody knows about Alexander Granville and Thomas Edison. Man, so the hell what? Okay, the brother when Latimer took the light bulb and he made it real. We're about to read about that now. I get so damn frustrated, man. This is how you know. What make me sick is you so-called black Christians out there who really want to just take up for your enemy and act like he's human and he cares. He can't stand you. He hated your forefathers. He tries to hide your history. And you want to try to somehow make yourself feel like you're equal when you're superior. You stupid black Christians. And we can say that because we all were stupid black Christians. We can say that. Okay? You can't see that this Bible, Deuteronomy 20, calling he's your enemy. Serve him for all things. You just invent the most incredible thing. You got to get permission from the white man to get his approval for it. Are you kidding me? This is how you know the Bible is true. This is a 100% real book. You got some more on that article on the brother?
Yeah, we're going to scroll down to the last paragraph where it says in 1893.
While he looking for that, along the lines of what Cat was saying, there's a movie called The Banker. It was a young man. He used to shine shoes, and he would listen to the math and stuff that they were teaching. He was teaching. I'm talking. This kid had to be maybe 8, and so he launched. It was him and I think Samuel Jackson. It's based on true events. The guy launched an ingenious plan to get African Americans equality, home and stuff like that. The dude was so smart. He had a white boy, the devil. Like the devil was working for him. And he buying up all kind of properties. I think he eventually own a bank or something. Like this dude he was sharp, Cap. Brilliant brother.
The Banker.
The Banker.
Damn.
Great movie.
Yeah, I did see that movie. That movie was absolutely great.
And then the devil screwed him over, and he started all over and did it all over again.
So that last paragraph on that article in 1893.
In 1893, Wood received a patent for an electric railway conduit, and in 1902, he received a patent for an automatic brake system. Damn. As a black inventor, however, he had difficulty.
Hey, pause real quick. It goes back to the same crap. So an inventor, a real inventor is white. So you got to be a black inventor. You see that crap, how they did the same thing. The Ukrainians. Well, they got different races of Ukrainians. When they say the Ukrainians, they talk about white people.
Right.
Okay. Polish, that's how wicked these crackers are. Excuse my language. You have a Polish foreign national, Ukrainian Caucasians, and you have German foreign nationals. All of them is Ukrainians. How do they know which one's who? They take the time, each one of the police guys, hey, where you from? No. You white people, you go over there, you niggas over there, and that's exactly the way they did it. Okay? And you're foreign nationals. And all the browns are foreign, but foreign national could be, again, a German, a Portuguese, a Spanish, a doggone Romanian. Anybody that's in Europe that's white, that's not from Ukraine, is technically a foreign national. So you got to be a black inventor. It's amazing. This is why we have a lot of work to do in this truth, y'all. We have a lot of work. Go ahead. Sorry, carry on what you're doing.
Can we get a script?
Let's finish the article.
Okay, all right.
We'll get it right after.
Okay. As a black inventor, however, he had difficulty in marketing his inventions and sold them instead to well-financed corporations such as General Electric.
GE. Everybody knows GE.
And American Bell Telephone.
American Bell Telephones is Bell South, which became AT&T, which was started by Alexander Graham Bell, which without his inventions, without Granville T. Wood's invention, you would never have heard of Alexander Graham Bell because the telephone would still be some local fluke box.
So hold up. You telling me that what's the brother's name?
Granville T. Woods.
That if it wasn't for him, then the other Edomites, so they kind of sprung off his back.
Yes.
Damn.
Yes. The American Bell Telephone Company became big because of long distance communication, which was made possible by Granville T. Woods. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, the way we communicate, the way we travel was all because of our forefathers. Yes.
Damn.
Let's get Matthew 5:16. Because I don't know how many. Yeah, because this brother here, he created the anti-braking system. I don't know anybody ever watched the Flintstones? You know how they used to stop? That's how the damn Edomites used to stop. Stick their feet out the bottom of the car and pat it to the stop. This brother, he had enough ingenuity to say, you know what? I'm going to create something that's going to help. I'm pretty sure his mind was revolutionary. He's like, I want to help. Because this is the benefit of his people. He coming right off the back of slavery. No, I read that, officer.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5, and verse 16. Let your light so shine before men.
No, read verse 13, I'm sorry.
Verse 13. Ye are the salt of the earth.
I used to know Edomites in the world. And anybody ever had some of they boiled chicken? They put no salt in it, no it tastes horrible. If you ever had chicken with no salt, I'm Judah. I'm gonna tell you straight. It tastes horrible. It's deplorable. It tastes terrible. And this brother's the salt. You got to put the salt on the chicken. Pink salt, of course. Read on.
Ye are the salt of the earth.
Come on.
But if the salt have lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted?
So where it's gonna be salted? The brother was the salt of the earth. The devil had to steal his idea. Oh, they probably put pressure on him, saying, you know what, we're not gonna make this public. It's the same thing with it was a movie called Acrimony with Tyler Perry. When the brother created like this crazy battery or something, and the dude was like, look, I'm gonna give you X amount for it. But the brother's like, nah, you know what, I'm gonna hold out. Then he became a freaking billionaire because he knew what he had. But this brother couldn't do that because I guarantee you that he'll probably get death threats and all kind of stuff for his idea. You know what I'm saying? So this brother's salt of the earth.
All praise to the Lord. Mika, you have anything more? Because I wanted to go into one more brother before we close out.
No, we can move on.
Look, and y'all take the time and look at some of these brothers and do a search, read multiple articles, do some research. If you get time, go to the library, look up some books, look at some primary sources on these brothers. if you can get an autobiography, which them writing a book about themselves, sometimes biographies of the time of, say, the 1900s, when someone would write a book on someone at the time. If you get a chance in your leisure time, do these things, you know. On the same vein as our brother, Granville T. Woods, go back to that video. I believe it's number 8. I want you to start a little earlier at 11 minutes. And hang on a second real quick. Yes, 11:20 or 11:13, I believe it is. And it's about Louis Latimer. This brother was another brother, a powerful, powerful brother from New England. Louis Latimer. This brother right here, I'm going to tell you something. There's one part I love about this history. So we're about to play that orator. What's that brother name? Yep, go ahead and run it.
This technological revolution celebrates the super information highway. The second half of the 19th century centered around its new age power, electricity.
Pause real quick. So just remember this. When it says the second half of the 19th century, it's referring to 1850 to 1899. So it's always a year, century behind. The 21st century started the year 2000. The 22nd century will actually start in 2100, right? So the 19th century is actually the 1800s. Why I preface like that? Because this brother was born in slavery. His parents were this next brother, Louis Latimer, his parents were runaway slaves. And watch what we're about to read an article too. I'm gonna show you the oppression and the stress that they had to deal with, as he had to deal with this coming up, and he still became this master inventor. Go ahead and play that, please.
Century centered around its new age power, electricity. In every school book, the name of Thomas Edison and Alexander Bell are imprinted in our minds. But recognition for their distinguished African-American colleagues, Granville T. Woods and Louis Latimer, is long overdue. Louis Latimer was a self-made man who became a pioneer in the development of electricity.
Pause real quick. Go back to that picture, and I'm glad they did it like that. So during this time in the North, they had, it wasn't quite as restrictive as, even though they're just as racist, but the men in the 60s, 1860s, and 50s, they actually could live and work among whites. So when you look at this picture, they're all white people, Caucasians, and then there's two white women, and that's a black man, okay? And so this is at his, I believe it is one of his jobs. So they would allow a certain number of us to work around them, okay? So this is kind of where, and this is in New England. I think this is in Massachusetts or New York, somewhere up there in the Northeast. Just keep this in mind, all right? Play on.
He drafted the original plans for Alexander Bell's telephone and made significant contributions to the success of both Thomas Edison and Hiram Maxim, Edison's competitor. While employed with Maxim, Latimer perfected Edison's light bulb by making improvements in the...
This is the part I want to really focus on. Rewind it again, because I don't want to butcher this. The last 10 seconds. I want us to really understand something, because a lot of these Caucasian inventors, they did things just to get a patent, and it sucked. It didn't even work, okay? And it took a brother to say, okay, well, this is but this is how it needs to be done, right? Play it again. So I don't want to seem like I'm grandstanding here.
And Hiram Maxim, Edison's competitor. While employed with Maxim, Latimer perfected Edison's light bulb by making...
He perfected Edison's light bulb because as he was drafting it up, he said, this is not going to work. His mind was like already correcting his boss. This don't work. What is he talking about? So he's a stupid ass, because the salt of the earth knows, you know, it's missing something. I'm going to fix it for this guy. Okay? Play on.
While employed with Maxim, Latimer perfected Edison's light bulb by making improvements in the incandescent electric lamp in 1882. He then supervised the installation of electric lighting systems in
This is the part. This is my favorite part of the whole show. I was waiting for this. So here it is. He was born in 1848. His parents were runaway slaves. He took Edison's invention, which everybody knows about Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb. His invention, he got panned because he had power and money. It sucked, okay? This brother, Louis Latimer, took an invention, which is a great idea, and he made it what it should have been to begin with. And guess what? 1882, so he's about late 30s, right? Yeah, he's not even quite 40 years old. 1848, he was born. So before he's 40, guess what he's doing? He's going to major American cities and supervising the hooking up of all light bulbs and telling people what to do. No, you're doing it wrong. The power, during that time, black men was not supposed to give no orders to nobody. He was so smart, just like Elijah McCoy. They had to buy the real McCoy. They had to buy the real stuff. That they said, listen, we can't do it without him. But Bob, I don't want him talking to me like that. But just swallow your pride. The nigger's right. And I'm telling you, he was running things. They was flying him, there was no planes yet. They was steam shipping him across the ocean to different countries to set up modern day electricity because Edison, his invention sucked. It didn't work, okay? And he made it so the light bulb was household. See, that's the way you're supposed to tell it. Play on.
He then supervised the installation of electric lighting systems in major cities around the world.
So let's just think about it. Let's just think about it. So they need, look, we need lights. We heard about what's going on over there. You got that nigger over there, and he's doing some big things. Well, yes, but really Edison was the guy. Yeah, whatever. But look, can we get him over here in France? Because in Paris, we rely on gas lights and stuff like that. Well, look, we don't care. Look, at this point, it's the knowledge. Listen, we'll pay for an all-expense trip. Get him over here. So when he went over there, he was setting things in order. When you go to an aerial map at night, and you see the lights up, that light up, you see in Louisiana, you see it's all dark, and you see New Orleans lit up, you see Baton Rouge lit up, you go to New York, the whole eastern seaboard. That's happened because of that brother. That brother did something the Most High put to, and he made lights come on at a level like he was responsible. And then because they couldn't set it up, and I'm just calling what he went to different countries. And at that time, you couldn't jump on a plane, jump on a red-eye flight. For you to get from New York to France, that was days of journey. There was no commercial flights back then. He was going all around the world in the late 1800s, setting up the modern day street lights and building lights in the world.
Hey, Cap.
You don't understand how. If I had been that's why I can't stand this damn. If I would have been a little child learning this, man, you know how all of us. Knowing how powerful, if I knew and someone could tell me from a black perspective, bro, I would have never had no self-doubt. I would have no inferiority towards these demons.
That's
okay?
Right.
And there's so many more of our people that made this society what it is. We need to tell the story from our perspective. And when you do, you got to dump on them. Yeah, it sucked. His stuff sucked. We made it better. Okay? Go ahead, Mikhail.
No, I was just going to say it's fitting that a black man made so many advancements with lights when the original black man in the beginning said, "Let there be light."
Right, there you go. Hey, right.
You know
He made two great lights. Right.
Hey, Cap, he got over to France. He walk around blowing out their little torches like, hey, you don't need. Hey,
right.
I'm gonna show you idiots how to do this.
Right. Hey, look, man. And hey, you know what? That actually goes back to, we're going to keep going, Asa. Get that brother another cheeseburger, man. Tech team falling apart. We got a big round guy who's running around the stadium talking about cut. He's doing a great job. But anyways, so when you really think about, this is a black perspective, Israelite perspective on the greatest inventions of the 19th and 20th century. These brothers with the electrical game, the communication game, the black man had the creative mind to be able to think that. And his Caucasian, terroristic, genocidal, maniac, white counterpart, his colleagues would say things in 1913 and 1920 like, Well, I've been around the Negro my whole life, and I never knew not one of them never have a creative idea. Well, you stupid, dumb retard, okay? If it wasn't for him, you wouldn't have lights in your cities. Okay, if it wasn't for him, you wouldn't have the modern-day supermarket. You would not have refrigeration, which would save people's lives in World War I and World War II. Black men did that. And if we need to, and look, they didn't know there was Israel. I get all that. But the point is that it can give you self-confidence to know that the things that you see in this world, brothers and sisters too. Next week we should do sisters. Not sisters did too. You know, sisters invented things too. Let me not just. It's all black men. Black women did some wonderful, powerful things in this country during times of great oppression and racist. But anyways, I know we can ready to close up. But before we do this, I want to drop one more jewel on y'all. Get me article number 14. This is heavy because this just came to me today because Bishop Nathaniel always would show us that in these articles and in these movies and books, every once in a while, they'll drop something on you and they'll put it right in your face. Now, those of us who are awake, we're going to catch it. So let's pull up that article. And when I read it, I was shocked. I'm like, damn, they just told us. So in our search, you can find a lot of black inventors. But what you can't find is a lot of Hispanic inventors. And you can't find a lot of Native American inventors. So I pulled up this article. And there was many inventions that the Native Americans invented far before Esau came to this side of the earth. They invented this. Let's scroll down and look at 10 of the inventions.
Wow. Wait.
Go ahead, Matt. Officer Matt.
10 Native American inventors commonly used today. 10 Native American inventions commonly used today.
All right.
From kayaks to contraceptives to pain relievers, Native Americans developed key innovations long before Columbus reached the Americas.
Long before Columbus reached the Americas, there was a brother named Montezuma. When the Spanish came, they were shocked to know how clean and hygienic the Montezuma's empire, how the layers of cleanliness in his empire. Meanwhile, in the bubonic plague, they're dumping septic in the streets in Europe. Okay.
Hey, Cap.
So what you're saying is they slandered that man's name with the whole Montezuma's revenge thing.
Of course. The video game. There's a bunch of damn demons.
You saw when they put on there kayaks to contraceptives to pain relievers. Yep. See, this is how I know black people don't read. Black people automatically think that just because their brother's light-skinned is there was some white in his family somewhere. Oh, y'all had people. All of our people was raped by the slave master. Don't you know that our people had knowledge of certain herbs that were fetus expellent? They would chew on certain herbs, and it would mimic a Plan B pill.
Yeah, like Cersei.
Yeah.
Like it's certain, if you're trying to conceive, that stuff, like, you're not supposed to take that if you're trying to get pregnant.
You know what I'm saying? So if they were doing things and they didn't want to get pregnant, they would just chew on certain herbs, and then you would not get pregnant. And if you did, the fetus wouldn't stay in you. The embryo wouldn't stay in you. It would come out. So just like, and I didn't know that Gad had a hand in that. That's crazy because I knew that they knew that.
And it was natural, not synthetic, where it could mess with your hormones and mess with your reproductive system. This is amazing. There's something, and just read a couple of them because there's the jewel that I want to drop to show you that your enemies know exactly who you are and they know exactly who they are. So let's just read the list of different things, and I want to go to the second article, the second paragraph.
Corn, rubber, kayaks, snow goggles, cable suspension bridges.
Hey, let me tell you something. That right there that's so heavy. That's engineering that it's beyond. We could do a whole class just on that. Gad had cable suspension bridges before Esau came over here, but that's we could let's move on. Keep reading that.
Raised bed agriculture, baby bottles, anesthetics and topical pain relievers. Syringes, hammocks, oral contraceptives.
Just like Officer Matt was getting into, just like he said. Read on.
Mouthwash.
Now, real quick, go down. I want you to go down where it says, in fact. Watch this. I'm going to show you how simple. No, go up, please. We're going to end the show on this.
Yo, scrolling too fast.
Go. I want you to go to the top of the article where it begins.
Right there.
Please. In fact, so check this out. It's going to jump out at you. It's going to jump out at you. Let's play that. Read that.
In fact, early European explorers who reached the Western Hemisphere were apparently so impressed by the achievements of the people.
Stop. So, layman's terms, when white people came over here, they're like, these people are better than us. And if you go into the accounts of the Spaniards, they were so impressed with Montezuma's security. In college, I took my minor was Latin American studies, and I had to study Montezuma. Montezuma had such a vast and impenetrable empire. It took them almost 7 years to get to the center of it. And these brothers lived great hygiene, great spacing of the houses. They had aqueducts. They had all of that. But watch this. Read on.
They encountered, by the achievements of the people they encountered, that they felt compelled to dream up stories about Native Americans being descendants of ancient Phoenician traders.
So they felt compelled to dream up stories about Native being the ancient Phoenicians. Ancient Phoenicia is, actually they were, anyways, I'm not going to get into that, but read on.
Traders or a lost tribe of Israel.
Wait, see that part? When I read it, it just jumped right by me. So read it again.
Americans being descendants of ancient Phoenician traders of a lost tribe of Israel in an effort to explain the source of their technological prowess.
So what they just did is said these Hispanics and natives, they're so asleep they won't even get it. They're telling you they know they was the Israelites, but they doctor their words in a way that say, oh, he dreamed. Well, what does that mean? If you dream of something, it's so incredible, it has to be a dream, because they had the understanding. They understood how to work and survive around one another. It just shows you that Hollywood knows the truth. Bishop did a show years ago on it. They're telling you that they were the Israelites. And now, real quick, hold up, because I had to say to myself, okay, maybe it's a Ben Yasha'Allah, who's a black Israelite that wrote this, right? No. Give me that screenshot real quick. Who wrote this? The author of this article, his name is, so I had to research it.
Hey, it's crazy because what they're saying is it had to be the power of God behind them to have them live on this side of the earth where nobody knows and be so successful. It had to be the power of God behind them to do that. Because they know that they couldn't do it. Because they know that they ain't got the power of God.
And they knew that, remember in the 1492, that they even throw that clue in there from the writings of Gigi Neges.
Yes.
And they knew that we were over here. So he's telling you in 2019 in an article, he's telling you in your face, you're the Israelites. I'm talking about the Gadites and the Reubenites. You're the Israelites. You're the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay? So this guy, this is the author, Patrick J. Kiger. He is the author of that. He's a journalist, a blogger, and an author. He has written publications ranging from GQ, Mother Jones, to Los Angeles Times Magazine. So he's a successful author. And in order to write for these GQ magazine, you cannot be a slouch. You have to be well-written, well-researched. You have to go through peer critiques. So he did his research, and he knows what he's talking about. And he's white, so I just wanted you to see that. So now your home will believe it. Because a white man wrote it. Now you believe it. Because if it was a black man with a name like Yasharasha, oh, it was a setup. No, a white man who went to white schools is telling you that the natives are the Israelites. So just to show you that they know who they are, we just don't know who we are. We just don't know who we are. That right there is gold. That's a gem right there for y'all. Right there, you know?
That last name, Kiger, if I'm not mistaken, that's a so-called last name.
Oh, probably.
Jewish.
Probably. Probably.
So they know exactly who we are.
Well, look, we are pressed for time. This show is already over, an hour and 30 minutes. And all praise to the Most High. Y'all stay tuned what's going on in Russia. Another thing, Facebook has been shut down. Twitter has been shut down. A lot of these major companies from Exxon, Shell, they're pulling out. IKEA closed the store in Russia. They got videos on RT News. People are trying to buy everything up, and they are literally doing the war of attrition, or like Officer Matthew said, it's a modern-day siege. They're cutting off supplies. They're cutting off airplanes. They're cutting off travel. They're sanctioning and embargoing them. And guess what that's going to lead to? It's going to lead to the Third World War, and it's going to lead to us being delivered. Christ is going to come back and deliver us and destroy our enemies. So that's what's going on right now. Don't be scared. Like Matthew 24, there'll be wars and rumors of wars. You amongst that. So we got to just keep these commandments, work together, community gardens, take care of your health. Okay, look out for one another. You know what I mean? Take care of each other. So with that, we precept upon precept. We got some disclosures to do. Mikhail.
Hey, look, Israel. If y'all want to continue to see these shows and continue to get this knowledge and understanding, give alms. If you have a local school, give alms in your local school. Give alms to the Booster Club at IUIC.fundraising@israelunite.org so we can continue to push this truth throughout the four corners of the earth and go home.
Israel united in Christ. We are not a hate group. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a nonviolent, Bible-based movement. We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land, you must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threat, as stated in Leviticus chapter 5, verse 1.
Hey, shalom, Israel. Thanks again. I know it's a late night. Thanks for staying with us at Precept Upon Precept. And tune in tomorrow. You know what the deal is. Tomorrow is, thank God, it's Friday. You start off the show with the Book of Our Fathers, and you end the night with the Raw Deacon Asaph. Y'all stay tuned. IUIC TV. Yo, register for Passover. It's going to be the best Passover yet. All praise to the Most High. We Precept Upon Precept. I'm Captain Shem.
Officer Matthew.
Officer Mikael.
Officer Micah.
Hey, look, with that we say, shalom.
You listening to Precept on Precept. Captain Shem break it down to no meat left. Line upon line in the word, make you respect. History collegiate when we teach it, brains reset. You listening to Precept on Precept. Captain Shem break it down to no meat left. Line upon line, the word make you respect. History collegiate when we teach it, brains reset. Putting in the work for the Most High. Valley of the bones coming back and we gon' ride. Showing you our past didn't start with that boat ride. We a nation made of kings, yeah, we chose right. Bringing our identity back. We the praise of the Lord, they pretend to be that. Judah is something special, they can never be that. We raise vengeance with the knowledge so our enemies crack. In fact, listen to the class and the topic. Bomb subject matter, breakdowns atomic. Gathering the people to hold